Hello, my beautiful, wild-hearted souls. Welcome back to the Bella Astrology Podcast. On today's episode, we are talking about the full moon in Sagittarius, which is happening on May 31st. It will peak at 3:45 a.m. here at Central Time, and it's happening at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. This one feels like freedom. Says your astrologer, your host, me, Ashley, your Sagittarius rising, your stellium in Sagittarius in the 12th house, kindred, wild-hearted soul. It tastes, it smells, it feels like freedom. Now, I'm not talking about the aesthetic kind of freedom, that Instagram quotey type of freedom. I am talking about freedom that wakes you up in the middle of the night. The kind that wakes you from that dead sleep. And your heart is pounding like you are literally trying to escape. You're laying there and the ceiling is right above you, and you're just thinking, your mind is racing, and there's a knowing. This deep inner knowing that you cannot. Oh my God, I can just feel the sweat. You cannot keep living your life like this. It's not because your life is bad. It's that your soul is screaming because you've outgrown this container. You're wearing shoes that are way too small. And it's this feeling that you have suddenly become aware of just how much you've been holding yourself back. How much you have postponed your life. How much of those desires that are still there that you've stuffed down, but you've explained them away with logic. It's not rational. It's not realistic. It's just not my time. Those are still there, aren't they? And just how much, you just feel it in your stomach. Acid is bubbling up. It's desperately trying to get out. How much mediocrity that you have tolerated. Tolerated just because it's a familiar taste. That bitterness is so familiar. Don't even hardly notice it anymore. Just the way it is, right? Wrong. Because once you feel this freedom, you can't unfeel it. It is like this full moon is shining right into the parts of you that have been asleep, that have been sedated, that feeling of just surviving. And it's impossible to ignore because it's at that moment where everything becomes painfully clear. It's painful. And you know what it is? It's the relationship. It's the routine. It's the exhaustion. It's the performance. It's the story. It's the cage. And you realize, oh my God, I was never meant to half live. And suddenly you can taste that other half of life just waiting there for you. And that's when something primal takes over. You want more. You want to run. You want to claw yourself out of this body, this place, scream, book the flight, quit the job, kiss someone passionately under the moonlight, to become the version of yourself, the true version of yourself, not the one you've shrunk into. That's the kind of freedom that I'm talking about. And it's not a comfortable freedom. It's not safe freedom. It's the kind that changes you so deeply that you can't go back to sleep again. You can't go back. And you suddenly realize, yeah, maybe my beliefs have built this cage. Maybe the life that I built, oh my gosh, it's so safe, so dependable. It's so logical, responsible. But there's no life here. It isn't where your soul actually wants to live. Ugh. And so this full moon feels like a jailbreak. It feels like you're standing at the edge of yourself, realizing I can't keep shrinking to fit inside a life that no longer reflects who I'm becoming. And that's when you doubt yourself. That's when you freak out. That's when you shrink even more, because I'm not allowed to want more. I'm not allowed to feel this way. I'm so ungrateful. Why am I so ungrateful? And that's where people go back. They roll over, pull the covers up, and try to sleep it away. Go back to feeling numb. But you know what? This is a Sagittarius full moon. Sagittarius doesn't do anything subtle. Whisper is not in the vocabulary. And Sagittarius grabs you by the shoulder and literally shakes you like, what are you waiting for? Seriously, what are you waiting for? Like, right bluntly in the face, can't avoid this. Do you really think that you were meant to just sit here behind a desk, buried in spreadsheets, your head down, answering emails until you die? Meanwhile, there's so much life out there. If you just raise your perspective, like take in the full view, my God, there are places to go. There are sunsets to see. There is a Lake Como, Italy, where a beautiful sunset is setting. There are wines there, Ashley, that you have not tasted yet. There are languages you have not learned. There are open roads. There are versions of you that you have not met yet. And I promise you, Ashley, she is amazing. This is life trying to reach you. It's trying to reach you. And Sagittarius is the part of us that remembers that we came here in this incarnation, in this body, to experience life, not just to get through it, not just to pass the time, but to expand and to learn and to go on these adventures and to grow. And this full moon is a cosmic reboot. Honestly, my friend Uranus has a lot to do with this. Also, I have very intimate relations with this planet as well, as it sits conjunct my rising, Sagittarius. But Uranus is sitting right next to the sun in Gemini under this full moon. And this is not just an emotional release. Therefore, this is an awakening, a revolution, a disruption, because Uranus comes in out of freaking nowhere to shake the foundation of anything that is not authentic, that is not meant to be here. And that can be jarring. It can be shocking. This is new information entering the system. It's like your body and your soul suddenly knows something that your logical mind hasn't caught up to yet. But with Uranus sitting there, literally holding hands with the sun, your logical mind is like, well, what the hell? Okay, I don't even know if any of this even makes sense anymore. And so what once felt safe now feels claustrophobic. And this moon is saying, you can't do this anymore. You got to wake up. You can't be so sleepy. You can't. We are not trusting this smallness feeling anymore. We're not feeling into the smallness. We're not worshiping safety anymore. We're not abandoning ourselves because it's the practical, safe, right thing to do. There is a wildness waking up here, a full, fire-hearted, adventurous, throw caution to the wind, who cares anyway type of energy. And maybe some of you have already been feeling it. The restlessness, the craving for more, that sense that, oh my gosh, this can't be it, right? There's something else going on here. I can already sense beyond what even my logical mind is trying to tell me. I can feel it. That sense that your soul is literally pacing inside your body like, oh my God, can we go yet? Can we go? I'm ready to go now. Because Sagittarius is the sign of truth. You can't avoid the truth. It wants expansion. You want expansion. The area of life where you have Sagittarius is where you're meant to grow and expand and be curious and go on adventures. This is not where you're going to be playing small. And so this is a full moon that is illuminating and bringing something into your awareness that you can't unknow. And maybe that thing is just becoming a little bit visible. And maybe it's not even what's become visible is what's missing from your life. Sometimes that definitely happens with a full moon. Maybe it's what is becoming visible are those bars, those invisible bars of the cage that you put yourself in, the beliefs, the fears. You created all of that, the stories, the limitations, the identities. None of that is actually real. It's just the story that you told yourself. And Sagittarius wants liberation from it all because Sagittarius is the storyteller. And it says, this, I would never, ever put myself in this type of small little cage. Now, the intensity here, if you're sensing there is an intensity here, you're correct. So this is a blue moon, which if you believe in our current calendar months, that within May, this is the second full moon in a month. So the second full moon is a blue moon. Whether you believe in that or you're aligned to there's a better way, a 13th way of doing this. Regardless, there is intensity here. And this full moon is incredibly symbolic of another wave of release because we release under a full moon. And it is literally bringing in Sagittarius to be like, no, really, we're letting this go now. Like, I need, grab you by the face. We're letting this go. We're clearing this now. We're not doing this anymore. And so this full moon is bringing closure to a 6-month cycle that began under the new moon in Sagittarius back on December 19th. So go back in your journal, go back in your phone, what was going on in your life at that time, what were you feeling? Because this adventure, this wisdom that you have gained over this last 6 months, what adventure are you standing on the edge of? Right? I can put a lot of faith in there's something that you are tiptoeing either away from or just teasing with this new horizon, this new adventure. And now we see what this journey is trying to teach us. And Sagittarius is the sign of wisdom. It's not about information. You got enough information. You've been gathering information for how long now? You already know. What are you going to do with it? What does it all mean? So not random that this full moon is happening at this time. I love a Sagittarius full moon. I love this opposition between the sun and the moon, between Gemini and Sagittarius. I find this axis of the zodiac so fascinating. This is the axis of of knowledge. It's the access of storytelling, and it's the access of logic versus beliefs. And so with the sun in Gemini, Gemini is about gathering information. Well, Sagittarius, as Gemini's sister, is like, okay, I got all the information, thanks, but what does it all mean? What does all of this mean? Sagittarius looks at Gemini, who's been asking all of these questions, so many good questions. But then Sagittarius says, yeah, but what's actually true? And as Gemini is noticing and observing and gathering all of this information, Sagittarius says, okay, those are facts, but what do you believe? And that's why this full moon between these two signs is so important, because we need both of these parts in our lives. We are ungrounded without both. Where is the balance? Where is the balance? We need the details from Gemini in order to get to the dream or the belief of Sagittarius. All of that goes together. You need the neighborhood in order to see the horizon beyond it. You need the logic in order to take that leap of faith. We need both of these signs. Gemini is the immediate environment. It's our day-to-day, it's our neighborhood, it's our mind, it's the chatter, it's the questions, it's the wondering. It's the actual facts, where Sagittarius, like I said, takes all of that information and says, yeah, but what does that all mean? What does it all mean? What's the bigger picture here? And with Uranus sitting next to the sun, opposite the moon with this full moon, there is a disruption in the mind itself. Gemini represents the mind. This is a rewiring. This is an interruption to old thinking patterns. That's why you're waking up with this, oh my gosh, I have to get out of here. I have to get out of this. I'm awakened now and I can't go back. You may suddenly realize that what you have been seeking outside of yourself is really just coming back to, oh my gosh, this all is a reflection of the story that I've been telling myself. And the story that I've been telling myself, that's not even true. Here's the thing about Sagittarius with the truth. So Sagittarius is the truth seeker and is obsessed with the truth. But here's the thing, they can also exaggerate. There's this contradictory thing with Sagittarius, but there's a reason for that. And when we think about truth and the way that Sagittarius speaks about truth, they're speaking about emotional truth. They're conveying something. Trust me, I know a few Sagittarius. When a Sagittarius says, oh my gosh, that thing completely changed my entire life, you must try it. Did it really change their entire life? No. But to them, it felt like it was so significant that everything changed. Did it actually change every little thing? No. But Sagittarius is about the symbolic truth. It's about conveying meaning in something. And in order to do that, it's large. It's bigger than life. It has to come across that way. And whereas Gemini is about the actual facts, just the cold, hard facts, right? Sagittarius is about the lesson. What does it all mean? What's the feeling? Where does it all go? And sometimes we are so attached to the story that we've told ourselves that we just stop even questioning if it's real. We stop questioning it. And there's a deeper medicine here with this moon, is that your beliefs shape your reality. Plain and simple, your beliefs shape your reality, and what narrative you repeat so many times has become your identity. Regardless if it's true or not, that's the thing. Nothing means anything until you believe it, because once you believe it, then it has meaning. And because your beliefs create your internal map, well, guess what? You follow the map that you created. So that's the truth. Where you are at is because you put yourself there. You created the map. So this moon is asking in a kind of like not concerning, but condescending kind of way. Hey, who created this map anyway? Well, you did. And this is your soul saying, I don't want to live here anymore. And Sagittarius wants expansion. It wants you to grow, wants you to go on the adventure, to say yes. It wants a bigger life. It wants more perspective, and it wants the truth. And so maybe this full moon is showing you where your soul has outgrown the story that your mind is still clinging to. And that's why this is so uncomfortable and confronting, right in the face. I'm being pretty blunt about this. This is a call to all of the wild-hearted dreamers out there. I keep seeing this image of just freedom, of driving down an open road. It's, oh my gosh, go with me. It's warm. It's at sunset. The windows are down. There's no reservations. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing on your mind but this pure feeling of freedom and bliss. The music's blasting. There's warm air on a sun-kissed skin because you got to do whatever you wanted to do today. And there's nowhere to be except fully alive. Think about that. There's nowhere to be. You just have to be fully alive. And that feeling is Sagittarius. That is freedom. That is trust. That is movement. That is all things possibility. And maybe you don't even know where you're going yet. And that is the whole freaking point. Because Sagittarius teaches us that that unknown is sacred. As long as the sun is rising tomorrow, I'm good. There's another opportunity to begin again. And I love that because it's so Sag. It's so hopeful. It's so optimistic. It's always moving towards that horizon with a smile. And under this full moon, that's the energy that this is bringing. So can you learn something new? What are you ready to learn that's new? Can you unlearn something that's old? Release a belief that has kept you small, that feels contained. You were never meant to be in a container. You have no container. You can go, you can leave whenever you want to. Release the old version of you that has expired. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to change. That's actually the point of being here, is growing. Shedding old skins, saying goodbye to those old identities. You did the best you could with what you had to get you here, and now you get to move on to greener pastures. Release the heaviness. That's a choice. It's a choice. Because full moons pull things to the surface like the tides. They bring things to the surface like emotions and truths and grief and desire and restlessness. All of this comes to the surface, and it's not there to punish you. It's not to say, wow, you really screwed up and your life really sucks. No, it's so you can finally begin to see what you've been carrying this whole time so you can let it go. Release it. This full moon is so personal for me, and it can be personal for you. Just tap into it. But for me personally, this one feels so big. I feel so animated, so alive. I want to be alive. I have so much that I am claiming under this full moon. So ready to make a massive move energetically. Ready to feel alive. Ready to stop overthinking every freaking detail that holds me back and actually live. I don't want to be numb anymore. I don't want to go back to a life like that. Even if what I'm feeling is uncomfortable and it's scary and unknown and I feel limited, it's still feeling something. And I know there's something more coming. And honestly, I want to celebrate that. I want to celebrate this growth. I want to celebrate the unknown and the possibilities and the optimism. And I'm going to celebrate under this full moon the most Sagittarius way that I know how. You know I'm going to. You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to overindulge in something delicious. I'm going to drink some wine, and I'm going to let that wine take me on an adventure like it always does. And where am I going to go? I'm going to go to France. Oh, I should go to Italy. I talked about Italy in this podcast. Maybe I'll go to Italy. maybe I'll go nowhere, but just deeper into this experience of being alive. But that's the point. That feels so healing to me right now, is to just enjoy the ride, to say yes, throw caution to the wind, take big risks, stop holding back. Because if I'm being honest, and I don't mean this quite literally, but I feel like things have been a little bit claustrophobic for me lately. And some of you maybe understand that feeling, but there's this realization that something else is trying to emerge. There's an evolution, and that's okay. That's actually great. There's part of me that's growing beyond this astrological piece. I'll never not be part of this. This is part of the foundation, but there's something beyond this. There's something bigger. There's a next iteration of this, and I need a new outlet. I need a new outlet. I need a new expression, a new adventure with it. And so I've been quietly working on something behind the scenes with someone who is incredibly special to me. I'm not going to name names or anything, but if you've been watching, I've been teasing a little bit of this, and you know, my Scorpio detectives out there are going to figure it out. But I will give you this one clue, and that's it. This is a Taurus-Scorpio collaboration. That's all I'm going to say. That's all you're getting for now. But we are going to launch this new adventure on June 21st. You know the date, the time, the place, the summer solstice, which is so cosmically perfect for what is about to reveal itself. I'm so excited. It is scary too. It's intimidating. I get to be new at something, but it also feels so right. And it's all going to fold in line and be part of this collage that I have. And that's exactly what Sagittarius energy feels like. It's expansive, it's exciting. And so wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart, go look at it. This is where you're meant to expand. This is where this full moon is asking for you to grow. If you're feeling the restlessness, if you're feeling like you're in a cage, where did you put yourself in a cage? Go look at your chart. Look at where you have Sagittarius. This is where you need to trust yourself in wanting more out of life. And not because you're ungrateful, but it's because your soul came here to evolve. And let yourself dream differently. Let it be messy, let it be raw, let it be blunt, honest, and real. And stop limiting. What would your life look like, especially in that area, if you stopped limiting yourself, if you had no limits? Because you don't. That is the key to your happiness and joy. So I am holding a full moon sound bath, as I always do under the full moons and the new moons, on June 1st, because I love it and I want to invite you to join me. So if you're local and you are ready to really connect with it, come gather with us and bask under this beautiful blue moon. It's June 1st at Divine North in Nisswa at 5:30. The energy is going to be incredible. And if you are feeling like I am speaking directly to you right now and everything that was said, you're dialed in. I just want to let you know, if you're called to dive deeper, my astrology mentorship, membership, Inner Orbit, it's there for you. And of course, we can have a reading. We can dive into and ask these questions and talk about this one-on-one. All of this is at ashleybellastrology.com. There's so much on the horizon right now. There's such an energetic shift, so much expansion, so much asking for this trust in the unknown, this awakening, this need to just absolutely release and let go of what no longer, just let go of the dead weight. Honestly, that's what freedom feels like. When you can set that down, let it all go. You know, I this is probably one of my favorite episodes that I've done this year so far. This is such a beautiful full moon, and the message is so true. It feels like freedom. So from my wild Sagittarius heart to yours, I am wishing you the blues in the very best way. And if this episode has resonated with you, or if you know someone who's on this wavelength that needs to hear this message, I just ask that you would please share it. It's the likes, the comments, the shares that help this to grow, and in the spirit of growth and expansion and of this full moon, let's expand. Let it go like wildfire. Let's go. Thank you so much. From my heart to yours, bye for now.